Hey guys, this is me, Kama7, and while you guys are waiting for one of my big Battlefront video projects, how about I ease the patience with a video expressing some of my hot takes for the classic Battlefront games. I'll start off by going over my personal hot takes, then take a quick glimpse at what other hot takes people have. I have a lot of hot takes, so I'll list out the ones that are worth talking about. Anyways, time to head straight into my first hot take.
I think I'm cheating.
Starting things off is a take that is bound to have its defenders, that being, award weapons suck. Oh, and also award effects aren't mentioned because I can't get rid of them when you get legendary. So why do I dislike award weapons? There are 3 reasons. Firstly, they feel like cheating. Yes, it requires you to be good at the game, but using most of the weapons make it feel like you're on baby mode. Secondly, the remote rocket launcher sucks. Don't use it. But in all seriousness, the remote rocket launcher is near useless. The best use you will get out of this is maybe Hoff, but that's about it. And the third reason, for whatever reason, the devs at Pandemic were so proud of these weapons to the point where if you accidentally swap weapons as a soldier or engineer, you're stuck with said weapon, meaning you'll either have to die or change classes just to get rid of them. Thankfully, this issue was patched up in the Classic Collection, but why can't you just turn them off completely in the options menu is beyond my understanding. Overall, award weapons should have never been added to the game, as it ruins the challenge and makes you extremely overpowered against the AI enemies you go up against. But how about we lighten up the mood with a hot take that is on the positive side of things? This one will surely surprise you.
Hey, you very good!
This take is what might get my head on a spike, but hear me out in my defense of the Classic Collection. For those who don't know what happened to the Classic Collection, it was a bundle of the 2 classic Battlefront games which received poor reviews upon the release on March 14th of last year. Now that it's been a year since the re-release has been out, what do I think of it? Well, it's alright. Not the best way to play the 2 games, as you can play the originals on PC and Xbox, but let's say that you own a PS5 or a Switch. The latter of which can experience the Battlefield for the very first time after 20 years of missing out on it, and can also play it on the go. Well, what about the gameplay in the Classic Collection? The first week of it was, well, interesting, but at the very least, they made a bunch of improvements to Battlefront 2, such as being able to disable award weapons, as briefly mentioned in my last hot take. And while not being the biggest HVV fan, they included HVV in all maps. Not only that, they brought XL, which was originally a PC exclusive, onto all platforms. And yeah, you can do that in the original game of mods, however you have to go through a few mods to find the right one, but Classic Collection has it right away. Despite the numerous glitches it had between its early days and now, I think this version is great for PlayStation and Switch players. Though to be fair, the file size is what everyone can agree is monstrous about the Classic Collection. Anyways, time to be a hater, sort of.
Engineer game thing.
Next one I think is bound to be a bit controversial, but I think it needs to be said. Engineers in Battlefront 2 are really overrated. The way these units work is that they have a shotgun, fusion cutter, health and ammo packs, and det packs. This class is commonly used online, especially in the competitive scene. But don't get me wrong, they're quite useful on the battlefield and in Galactic Conquest, is what I would be saying if they didn't have a large cult following. Firstly, they're just a better soldier, completely power creeping them at times. The only time where soldiers could be better is Super Battle who's equipped with a tri-shot, which functions like a shotgun that the engineers use. The only downside to using an engineer compared to a soldier is range. My second point for how I think they're overrated is how overpowered they are at times. They have a shotgun which can instantly kill units with low health, and same thing with det packs, except it can kill a good chunk of foes that have a huge chunk of health like rocket classes. We also can't forget they can hold up to 5 health and ammo packets, which was a problem in the first game. If it was reduced to 3, I think it would be a fine nerf to the engineer class. And on top of that, engineers can also refuel their health and ammo packs through an ammo droid. So in a cosmic sort of way, they're printing their own money, meaning that health droids are kinda useless with engineers. But Droideca's nearby ammo droids are also useless, so who am I to blame? And my third point, which I'll say for my next hot take, is the fact that they're all the same. Only difference is appearance and ammo clips, I guess. So in conclusion, I like the engineers, but the game can be really easy if you know how to use the class. But we all know about Soldier is the best character in both games. No argument against that. I've blabbered on long enough, so let's advance to my next hot take of mine.
Honestly, I don't think that anyone would want to date me because I
carry a recon droid that can nimbly traverse the battlefield.
Battlefront 2 fans are going to be in shambles from this, but it needs to be said. Battlefront 1's class diversity is way better than Battlefront 2's class diversity. The same thing can be applied to having sniper classes since they also suffer the same fate as them. Thankfully, the wildcard classes didn't get this fate, but they're the wildcard classes, so what do you expect? I like the uniqueness of the classes, which makes you think of which units you want. For example, CS and Rebel snipers have double zoom in, while Republic and Empire snipers don't. Republic had a broadcaster, Rebels had a shotgun, and CS and Empire had grenade launchers, which would later be implemented to their respective officer classes in the second game. Or even the rocket classes, as the Republic had 2 rounds before a reload, or the Rebels who'd fire twice in 1 round. And what about the soldiers, you may ask? Well, nobody cares about the soldiers that aren't named Dave, so get wrecked, soldier fans. All of this makes you think of which faction to choose. Do you want to have 2 rounds before a reload as a rocket class, but come at the cost of a hard-to-master engineer and a sniper that can only zoom in once? Or have a faction of a grenade launcher, a sniper that can zoom in twice, but the cost of only having a rocket class that fires once before reloading? Overall, I think it makes each faction unique compared to the rest. Unlike in Battlefront 2, where the 4 factions have more than half the units play the exact same. If they were strict on time, they could have had health buffs and nerfs to some of the units to make them somewhat stand out, but I think I've expressed too much Battlefront hot takes for one video, so let's dive into the responses I got.
First rule of the internet, read the comments.
Oh damn, the view was shorter than I expected.
Nice try.
A while ago, I asked you guys on YouTube and Reddit what your Battlefront hot takes are. Expecting to get nothing, I got a few that are quite interesting. Now, let's take a look at what they have to say. The first comment comes from Consumer of Beams, and they say, well, as the first comment, my hot take is that the space maps feel over-repetitive and that sniper rifles are better than shotguns, even at close range, although I'm not entirely sure if these are even hot takes, so my bad if they aren't. I have to agree on that. Space maps can feel fun at times, but when you do them over and over again in Galactic Conquest, that's a sign you gotta stop playing Battlefront 2 until you feel comfortable taking on more space battles. And also the fact that each era gets 3 unique space maps to fight on also supports the claim of space battles feeling over-repetitive. Snipers in Battlefront 2 are fine, but due to their low health they can be risky. However, the competitive Battlefront scene does make good use of snipers, so there's a minority that are great with snipers, so you're not alone on that. The second one comes from Eurethic, sorry if I mispronounce it. They say, Battlefront 2 had the best and the worst aspect of the entire series combined in one game mode. Galactic Conquest is the absolute gem of the series in my opinion, but the completely brain-dead AI makes it unplayable in 2024. Changing the difficulty doesn't change the ability of the AI, it just increases their damage, which is disappointing. Battlefront 2 on one hand has one of the best game modes of any game ever, but on the other hand, friendly and enemy AI is not very good. Enemy AI suffers from potential AI rubber bandy at times. Not even sure if that's just me, while my friendly AI at times does nothing, or they are too slow to get there in time before the enemy team captures a command post. And damn, changing it to elite difficulty only increases damage? Kinda disappointing as you alluded to earlier, as I thought they'd be much tougher, but apparently damage increase is what makes elite more of a challenge per se. And finally, Lopez Al, as they say, although I played Battlefront 2 first, I actually find myself preferring Battlefront 1 more these days. I like the overall slower pace of the gameplay, the enemy AI, especially on hard, feels like more of a threat, and there seems to be a greater tactical importance of capturing certain command posts. There is also the more fleshed out squad command system, first-person cockpits, and air vehicles on ground maps. For some reason, Battlefront 2, on console at least, also got rid of the ability to swap between first and third person with the click of the left thumbstick, not to mention being able to go prone. I also prefer Tamura Morrison voicing the clones, something that no other Battlefront game has done since. And for our last hot take, which I'm 50-50 on, I mostly lean to Battlefront 2, but depending on my mood, I like Battlefront 1 more. When I was a kid, I used to play Battlefront 1 on my PS2 a whole lot. Mostly because of the droid skids in Battlefront 2 looking very ugly. One of 2 things I can disagree on is the slower pace, as I prefer to get some of them done as soon as I can, especially if it's on a map I don't like. And the other is Battlefront 1's hard AI. It makes me feel miserable playing it. But on the positive side of things, I can agree on the squad command system, air vehicles for ground maps, and best of all, first-person vehicle views. Hell yeah! Here on this channel, we idolize first-person vehicle views, baby! Also, I agree with you on Tamura Morrison voicing the clones. With his role as Boba Fett in the original trilogy, Jango Fett, and the Clone Boys, he's deserving of having a voice role in this game. Okay, this one is the last second edition. Savajo first prefers Battlefront 1 Galactic Conquest over Battlefront 2 Galactic Conquest. Battlefront 2 has space battles for Galactic Conquest, which get annoying really quickly, so overall not a horrible hot take. And with that, that'll wrap up this video. The next big project of mine might be related to Sly, might be related to Battlefront, or it could be neither. Who really knows? You'll just have to wait and see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!